Welcome back to Power Hour, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. You know, Dr. Bruce Fife has gone out on the edge of what he talks about, and I respect him so very much. He wrote a book called Coconut Cures, Discovering the Healing Power of Coconut, Preventing and Treating Common Health Problems with Coconut. And I thought he was kind of on the edge then, and I thought, oh, my goodness, the food police are going to get him. And then he comes out with the new arthritis cure, Eliminate Arthritis and Fibromyalgia Pain Permanently. Then he comes out with Stop Alzheimer's Now. And you know what? Nobody can disprove this information. Guess what? It works. They're beautiful books. They are so helpful. And if nothing else, it's going to help you understand what you need to do and why. That's the big part. Why? And besides that, the recipes like egg foo young, zucchini delight, deviled eggs, all the kinds of things you think might be bad for you, well, guess what? He's also got a mental status test in the back of the book, which I will be giving to all the Power Team members. I want you to know after the program. No, the mental status test. I mean, it's just complete. It's really excellent. Dr. Bruce Fife, we've got some callers here. I'm going to go back to them. Anything you want to add before we go to the callers?
No, we can go straight to the callers.
Okay. George in Indiana. George in Indiana, you're on the air with Bruce Fife. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Joyce and Bruce. I have a 2-year-old dog that has epilepsy. He had a seizure about a year and a half ago. It was a grand mal. And the doctors have put me, I gave him a phenobarbital in the morning and in the evening. And he had another one last week, which was, you know, they're spread out almost a year apart. But is there anything I could help my dog with?
Okay, just let me add, we give no veterinary advice on this program. This is for your educational and entertainment purposes only. Hypothetically, Dr. Fife, can coconut oil help with epilepsy?
Yes, theoretically it should. And I would suggest giving your dog coconut oil every day, probably about, depending on the size of the dog. If the dog weighs about 50 pounds, I would say 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. And I would also make sure that the dog doesn't eat commercial dog food, but that you serve it actually real foods, meats and such.
Meats and vegetables and fruits, believe it or not. It's really so much better. You know, I don't want to get into animal food again, but, you know, a lot of the stuff coming in from China, we have no idea what it is or where it comes from. Just that's my own editorial comment on that. Let's go to Bill in Texas. Bill in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Thanks. I just had 2 questions.
Go ahead, please.
One is this likely to improve ADD and ADHD?
Oh, good question. Let's start with that one. ADD or ADHD?
Well, actually, yes, and there's actually been studies in that and have shown improvement, yes.
Okay. Do you have another question, Bill?
Let's see. Would it be, in terms of the dose, this would be for like teenagers, about 3 tablespoons a day or something like that before meals?
For someone like in teenage years, yeah, probably around 2 tablespoons a day spread throughout the day. So maybe a little bit at each meal.
Okay, great. Also, for root canal infections, I know that from what you said, this is likely to, you know, be effective on that. Do you think it could possibly cure a root canal infection, or is it just likely to control the bacteria level?
Yeah, oil pulling will help with that, but, you know, with a root canal, even though the dentist may clean it out and disinfect it, it's going to be reinfected. You can never have a totally uninfected root canal, and so it's always going to be a source of bacteria in the mouth.
So getting rid of the root canal, cleaning that out is the answer then. But now remember, we give no dental advice on this program either. So thank you very much, Bill in Texas. But that's interesting for ADD, ADHD. I mean, to think that all of the troubles or many of the troubles might be nutritionally related, which I tend to think many of them are, and they're not just a deficiency of Ritalin in the body. That is worth a try. That is really worth a try. Let's go to Annette in West Virginia. Annette, you're on the air with Dr. Bruce Fife. Go ahead, please.
What a timely broadcast.
Good.
I have used coconut oil for a few years. in cooking and as body lotion. But what can it do for a severe concussion, which I suffered 2 years ago when I couldn't break a first fall and then a second fall on my property, and it was very severe. In fact, what's been affected, not only my thinking capacity, but when I tried to sing, the sound, it was very hard. It just wouldn't come out of the front of my head. And my eye sockets were severely reduced. You could hardly see my eyes, and they were my best feature.
Wow. I'll tell you, I can't imagine what you must have been like if you say that you're affected now, because you do great. I'm just thrilled with you, Annette. What can we talk about with concussion relative to coconut oil? Dr. Fife?
Well, with brain trauma like that, coconut oil, the ketones that are produced from coconut oil can also stimulate healing and repair. So I would recommend that you do add coconut oil in your diet and continue with it, and maybe even increase the amount a little bit.
Can you take thank you very much, Annette, for the phone call. The question, can you take too much coconut oil?
Well, you can't take too much in that it will actually harm you. But if you take more than your body can handle at one time, it may produce diarrhea. And that basically depends on each person individually, because I can take, 8 tablespoons a day and it won't affect me. But when another person, maybe 1 tablespoon would cause it. But if they start using it every day, then their body will adapt to it and they'll be able to take more and more.
Okay. I guess you're going to notice also if your pants get too tight, wouldn't you? I mean, seriously, wouldn't you notice a weight gain if you're eating too much coconut oil?
Well, I haven't experienced that. Really, if you take too much of any calories, it can have the potential to promote weight gain. But again, the coconut oil isn't that bad because it stimulates the metabolism, so it has a little safety factor there.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to get the answer about the extra virgin olive oil. Can you get the same results with extra virgin olive oil that you get with coconut oil?
No, and the reason being is that the olive oil is made with a long chain, triglycerides, and coconut oil has the unique short chain.
Very good, very good. Brad in Texas, you're on with Dr. Bruce Fife. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I have a brother that has ALS, and he's in the final stage of ALS, and he's on a feeding tube and respirator and pretty much 100% immobile. Do you have any documentation or success stories in someone of his case?
Well, coconut oil can help with ALS. Now, with his problem, it may be too far advanced if he's on a feeding tube to show any real benefit.
Yeah, feeding tube, that's about the best that can be done is, making it liquid and using a feeding tube then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to, thank you very much, Brad, and sure sorry about your brother. That is, is there any causation of the ALS that you're aware of?
No, we've just tried everything, researched, oxygen tank, just about everything that we can do. We're into the organics and homeopathic type stuff too, but we just haven't been able to find anything.
Any idea, was it vaccine related, do you know?
Don't know. We've explored that. He worked at a steel company. Could be, something from that. Just haven't been able to find anything.
Okay. Well, thank you for the phone call, and let us know if you are able to use this in a feeding tube, get the nutritionist to allow that, then let us know how that works. I'd love to hear. Dr. Bruce Fife, thank you so much for the book and the information.
Thank you for having me on the show.
I've got to let you go. We'll have you on back soon.